Okay, what?
Predator is comic adjacent.
It's not.
Oh. It is. They fought Batman. The Predators have fought the Marvel Universe. The aliens have appeared in both as well. And the aliens and Predators fought each other.
I don't like Alien and Predator.
They're so good.
It's not comic adjacent.
It actually technically is. What about Wicked for Good?
You know what happens when you try to get stuff that's not comic adjacent on this show?
Zootopia 2.
All right, welcome back to Capes, Cowls, and Conversations. Today we're gearing up for a big January by kind of talking about the things that we want to talk about for this year.
Yeah.
You probably caught part of that conversation just a second ago with Predator that is apparently comic adjacent, even if I don't like it.
Yeah.
And
Avatar Fire and Ash.
Before we really get started, make sure that you like, share, subscribe, ding that bell, follow whatever the app you're listening to us on has you do. Rate us 5 stars because you love us, because we love you and we love comics. And here we go. Predator? Really?
Yes. You don't like Predator? I thought it was the Alien movies that were bad. Me personally.
I think they're both terrible.
The only Predator movie that I have not liked is... Are we doing this again? Come on. Hello. There we go. The only Predator movie that I did not like is the one with Key and Peele. Or was it just Key? I don't remember.
The only Predator I didn't like is the one that made it to the theater.
They're all good for the most part.
No.
Except for one.
Predator's so bad, I don't even like playing with the character on Fortnite.
That's crazy. No, Alien is where it got off the rails. I like Alien and Aliens a little bit. I don't love Aliens, but I do like Alien. Alien Romulus was really good. I have been told several times that I need to sit through Prometheus and Alien Covenant, but I can't.
Listen, alien horror movies don't do it for me. There's only one. There's one alien horror movie that stands out above all the rest.
Let me guess.
You won't guess.
Yeah, I won't guess, but I will.
But go
I'm
for
going,
it. Go
going
for
to. Because there was one that grossed you out and made you uncomfortable. And that was what is it called? It's the Superman one. The kid.
Oh, Brightburn. Okay.
Brightburn made you.
I don't really look at that as an alien.
It was alien.
I don't look at that as an alien horror, but yeah, I mean technically yes, Brightburn was good.
It was good.
Brightburn is a good movie.
You walked out of it saying that made you extremely uncomfortable.
It was very uncomfortable, but it was a good movie, and a good horror movie should make you uncomfortable. But no, as far as aliens, as far as horror alien movies, the best one is one you probably have never seen. It's called Event Horizon.
Heard of it, never watched it.
It's really good. You're going to have to watch that one. I'm not going to movie review it right here. But, okay, let's talk about some things. You know, this may not be your most exciting episode that you're going to hear from us, but we're going to talk about some things that are coming up. The closest thing coming.
So I want to start with having looked at the list of movies this year.
Hold on. The closest thing coming.
Well, this is just me being excited. You know what's so great? There is not a single Sony project on the list for this year.
That's fair. What's not coming is another garbage Sony movie. But what is coming up is this weekend. This weekend is Northwest Arkansas Comic Con in Rogers.
Yeah. It is coming. Yeah.
So,
I don't remember who's going.
I keep promoting it. There are only a couple of people that I'm actually interested in seeing.
I know Iroh's going. I know the second voice of Iroh is going.
The voices of Light, El, and Ryuk from Death Note will be there. The voice of Toga will be there. Our friend Heath Peters, aka Star-Lord, will be there.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And Eliana will be there as Jinx. So excited for that. I've already gotten to preview the Jinx cosplay. She's awesome.
Okay.
She's awesome. So excited about Northwest Arkansas coming up. What else is coming in January?
So for starters, we have not really anything, honestly. I mean, we have Spider-Man, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Oh, nice. Oh, sorry.
Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Yeah, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I gotta be honest. It's not great looking.
You don't think so?
I mean, I'm okay. So number one, I'm kind of tired of the hip hop remake of classic theme songs. I don't know what it is, but they've been doing that since like 2012.
Yeah.
Like that, like TMNT. TMNT did it, and I was not. It's a cool theme song, but I don't know. The Spider-Man one's not that great.
How much does the theme song play into how much you like the
Oh,
show
I'm
or
not
whatever,
done.
though?
I'm not done.
Okay, because I feel like a theme song shouldn't really mean that much.
The costumes don't look all that great. I'm not a big fan of the arc from the comics where Peter works with Oscorp as Spider-Man, and that's kind of what they're adapting a little bit. It looks like they're adapting the identity. Not the identity. What is it called? Is it Identity Crisis or? There's another arc from the comics where Spider-Man has Peter goes through a few different superhero identities instead of being Spider-Man. I'm not sure that really interests me. Let me make this clear. It's for the first year of Peter Parker. These arcs are not things that I want to see as his first year as Spider-Man. There are things that happen way later on, and even then I don't like them in the first place because it kind of feels like Spider-Man goes corporate, and I'm just not a big fan of that either. And that's part of the reason I've never really liked Spider-Man in the MCU either. I don't really like him working with another big named character. I'd rather him just be himself.
Okay.
So kind of just tired of that. And I want them to go back to basics, and they have not really done that except the video games for Sony. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I mean, you have your opinion. I just want to see a good Spider-Man cartoon come out.
I do
honestly,
too.
Because there hasn't been one in years now.
Yeah. I also don't love the animation's fine, but it kind of feels like Archer and
It does look a lot like Archer animation,
and the
actually.
recent DC animated films. And that to me like you were like, it looks cheap. And to a degree, I kind of agree, but they were animated films released on DVD, so it didn't bug me that much. This show is on Disney Plus, so it does kind of bug me. But then it also bugs me because it feels like if it's using someone else's animation style that has been done before, it doesn't really have its own identity.
Well, you can't just keep coming up with multiple animation styles. I'm not sure what you want there.
Yes, you can. You can use a different animation style than something that's been done before. And also the thick
if
black
it was that
lines.
easy, everybody would be doing it.
They kind of do. I mean, like, for instance, the TMNT 2012 show is a 3D animated series that also it's made by the same people who did Teen Titans from 2003.
There's a lot of costs behind 3D animation.
I'm not saying it has to be 3D. I'm saying that this is another show that did something different by taking stuff that they learned from Teen Titans and did it in the 3D model. So it wasn't exactly Teen Titans from 2003, but it also was. This show doesn't feel like it's doing anything new or spectacular. So I'm just like,
Well, it's not called the Spectacular Spider-Man. That's been done.
oh my God. I
No dad jokes on my show.
I didn't even mean to use spectacular for you to make it that joke. So it was just the first word that popped into my head. But you know
Are
what
you
I
going to
mean?
use the word amazing next? Can we do amazing Spider-Man
No,
and spectacular
can we? I would
Spider-Man?
love Andrew Garfield to come
No.
back. Please.
No, he's gone.
Amazing Spider-Man 3.
He should have died in
No.
No Way Home.
Absolutely not.
He should have.
No. Although they should have had, you know, it'd be funny if what's his name? The one that that Elle likes. I can't remember his name.
Tom Holland.
Timothy Chalamet.
Oh, Timothy Chalamet.
If he was
okay.
like Harry Osborn or something, or an alternate universe version.
He
of Spider-Man.
could be an alternate universe Harry Osborn. He actually
He
could.
could be Harry Osborn in the MCU. That really wouldn't bug me. Actually,
I like Timothy
he's similar
Chalamet.
to Tom Holland in.
And we're
the
also
way-
not going to review this movie, but have you taken the time, because I know that you love music as much as I love music, have you taken the time to listen to A Complete Unknown soundtrack yet?
I don't. This is gonna probably shock you, but Bob Dylan. I've listened to like maybe 3 songs in total.
Yeah, well, Timothy Chalamet covers a bunch of them. He covers them.
Does
it's
he
not Bob.
sound like?
Oh my
Bob?
gosh, his sound is so good.
Like, does he sound like Bob
Yeah,
Dylan? He's-
like, so the difference between him and Bob Dylan is the age of the voice. You can tell that he's younger.
yeah.
You play the Bob Dylan version on Spotify and it sounds like he's 50 years old. And
Yeah.
you play the Timothy Chalamet version and it sounds like he's 22 years old. But otherwise, he nails the tone. He nails the kind of the things that Bob does with his voice.
Yeah.
He nails the songs. They're
Okay.
really, really, really good. Like really good.
Yeah. I've only listened to a little bit of Bob Dylan, but I do like the songs I've heard.
The songs the sounds that you've heard. Listen to Timothy Chalamet. It'll blow you away how close he is.
Okay. Yeah.
It's really good. I enjoyed it. So, what else is coming in January? Anything? Or are we moving straight into Captain America?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think that's it for January.
we've
February's more interesting.
We've
Before
got
we get-
Comic-Con in January, we've got Spider-Man in January.
Yeah, February though, we're not starting with what you think we're starting with because Invincible comes out on the 6th.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I'm actually excited about it.
I am too, especially now that they're adapting one of my favorite arcs in the comics, which is the one where he fights Cecil.
They send his brother back to his home planet, right? He doesn't keep that brother forever.
Great or what's I don't really like
His
his
little
brother.
Thanos brother.
Oliver. Yeah, Oliver sticks around.
Thanos.
No, Ollie sticks around.
Thanos.
It's not Thanos.
He's purple.
For a little bit, he doesn't stay purple.
Okay. What a
But-
terrible addition to the storyline. I didn't care for that part at all.
You are gonna like it. I'm just telling you, you're gonna like it. Like it gets better.
Okay, if you say so.
I don't know why you wouldn't like it from the start. It's actually a really interesting.
It's
addition to
dumb.
it. What are you talking about? Are you talking about because he was born from Mantis
Yes.
people? Well,
Yes.
okay, so his introduction was a little weird, but like it's nothing different out of the comics, out of any comic book.
I haven't read those comics. You know that.
I'm not
I
even just
don't-
talking about Invincible comics. I mean, weirder stuff's been done in Marvel. I mean, they've
I'm
had
just saying it's dumb. That's all.
Okay.
So anyway, Invincible, February 6th? Is that what you
February
said?
6th.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
pretty sure it was February 6th. Let me double check that. But yeah, that is exciting. I love what they've done with Cecil in the show
Yeah.
because he's different in the comics. He doesn't really get a lot of characterization in the comics, not as much as he does in the show, at least. But I've grown to love Cecil in the show, and the voice actors are fantastic. And it's probably going to be the bloodiest season yet, which I know has been said every single season so far for the last.
Every season is the bloodiest season yet. It's The Boys animated.
It's better than The Boys, though.
I agree with you. It's better than The Boys.
I wish The Boys would do.
The Boys kind of went off the rails.
Yeah, that's mostly because season 2 felt like plot armor central.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
Invincible.
so Captain America 4.
Captain
This is
America
what
4.
I'm most excited about.
We finally got a look at Samuel Stearns recently.
Okay.
He does have the head.
He has the head, the whole big Nice.
Yes. So
We haven't seen him since Hulk.
we haven't seen him since Hulk. I hope they keep him because the actor's good. I thought he's kind of a dork in the first one,
Yeah.
but it would be nice to see how that dork turned into a psychopath.
Okay. Hopefully we'll get some backstory then.
Yes,
You think,
I
you think
hope
we'll
so.
get backstory?
Because and there is a tie-in comic to the Incredible, actually a tie-in comic to the early MCU about the Fury's first week in the MCU, where he recruits Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, and in that comic, Black Widow is the one who apprehended him. Samuel Stearns. She captured him and then locked him up, and he's been locked in a shield. Well, if the comic is still canon, he's been locked in a shield cell since Incredible.
You think
Hulk.
they'll show that?
I hope so. I hope they don't forget
Which
that.
Black Widow? Well, it'd have to be Scarlet.
It was.
Is she gonna make a comeback nobody knows about?
Dude,
It'd be kind of cool.
That'd be cool. If that was it, if it was just a flashback sequence, just to
Because
show.
I've heard there's rumors she's definitely coming back for Secret Wars.
Mhm. Chris Evans also.
So it'd be interesting to see if she comes back just for a flashback scene in this.
Yeah. But other than that, nothing really new. There was two drama issues for the marketing. Number one, Red Hulk's promo image where he's
Grabbing the shield.
grabbing the shield. You can see that it's bending parts of the shield. People were like, that doesn't make sense.
The shield shouldn't bend.
But it's marketing material, so I don't care. The other one is there is a statue.
I literally had that article pulled up to talk about it. You've ruined my talking point.
Oh, sorry. There's another one where there's a statue of Red Hulk in the marketing promos for a marketing promo that has just a green version of Hulk painted red. People are calling it lazy. I don't care. I mean, it doesn't look like Ross. I guess it looks like Banner, but it's still a Red Hulk, and it's a marketing promo for a single theater.
Yeah. Well,
I don't care.
I don't care either.
It's dumb. It's such a dumb thing to complain about. I think people are just looking for a reason to complain about this movie right now.
Well, I mean, there's that the same way that there are people looking to complain about Superman, I think.
Yeah,
I know we talked about it last week, how they were saying that the test screenings were going poorly. And then I read this week, and someone said, no, the test screenings are great. And still there are people saying, what are you talking about? There have been no test screenings. I think that somebody is just trying to bomb certain projects. I think that maybe Marvel actually does pay some reviewers to bomb DC projects, and DC pays people to bomb Marvel projects. I think that's actually happening here.
There's two fake Twitter accounts for Zack Snyder and James Gunn.
Yeah.
That posted on the James Gunn one. It said it was the movie was delayed to January 2025 or 2026. Sorry. And Zack Snyder's one posted that, well, there's no reason to bring back my DC universe because this is, it was so stupid. It's just trolling. It's people trolling. But
I think this is more professional than that. I think this is actual because the people making the comments are actual professional reviewers.
Yeah, I think people need to maybe stay off the internet and go touch grass for a little bit.
What else is coming in February? I'm not sure.
That is the only two things that I personally know of as of following comic book news. So I might just move on to March, which is probably gonna be the best month of the year.
Tell me about March.
Daredevil Born Again.
Okay. I'm excited about that, even though I think She-Hulk almost ruined Daredevil for me until they said they were going back to the Netflix storyline. I felt like bringing him to She-Hulk kind of made him funny.
I liked him. He okay.
If you started with him on Netflix, it's dark.
I agree with Charlie Cox in that it's kind of similar for Batman. Daredevil and Batman should have similar arcs, in my opinion, where they kind of lighten up a little bit. I do think Charlie Cox I think he had a comment where he's like, it was nice to play Daredevil. Like, if we played Daredevil dark for a while, it would be nice that, after season 3, after everything he goes through, that he gets to just lighten up and be a human.
And he did in Spider-Man.
Yeah, and they just carried that over to She-Hulk. Like, it's no different than he is in Spider-Man.
I think the Spider-Man was enough. Because She-Hulk was almost, and we've talked about this, She-Hulk was almost too far to the comedy side.
See, what I would like to see with Daredevil is that if it starts out that way and he still is kind of a kind of not goofy, but he's still lighthearted, and then everything goes sideways, and then he goes back to dark. That would be a good progression of showing him at least be happy for a bit, and then like everything falls apart, and then he's back to depressed. But just seeing him be depressing all the time and serious, I don't really like that. I don't really think that that's a realistic.
I think it just made me scared that they're going to turn him campy the way they turned Thor campy.
I don't think they were ever going to do that. I do think they were going to go lighthearted, but I don't think they were ever going to do something like that. That'd be complete character assassination.
That's what they did to Thor.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think they would commit to character assassination for Daredevil. I don't think they could allow themselves to do that.
Okay. What else is March? Is that it? Is that what makes March interesting? Just
I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, Daredevil alone would probably make March the most interesting month of the year.
Okay.
I know. Let's see. Because there was more. There's one that I sent that was more comic book related.
So what's been interesting? Just looking back at polls we've put out and the most watched episodes we have made so far, most listened to episodes, I guess in this case, is people want more movie reviews, and we're trying to stay true to form on comics and comic adjacent properties.
Yeah.
So there's a chance that we are going to launch something separately in the February-March timeframe that is more wide open to movies, just doing movie reviews because people seem to like the movie reviews. So we're definitely looking into something that would allow us to do that, but stay true to the comics on this particular podcast. One other news I forgot to mention, by the end of January, this podcast will be converting to a video podcast. So you guys, first of all, we're working on getting new space for the podcast. And when we do, we definitely intend to fire up some cameras. We've already got the cameras. We've got a lot of the stuff set up. It's just kind of a little bit of the back end to make sure that we can go video and have good quality video, good quality audio, and put together still a good show. So look for that by the end of January. We will be a video podcast, and we're super excited about that. So
yes,
March.
I am very excited for that.
March, April.
I'm trying to find this thing because there was one that I was looking at that was specifically comic book related.
There may not be anything coming until then June.
Projects for 2025. Images. That is unhelpful. God.
So anyway, there may not.
Oh,
go ahead.
Well, you're not going to care, but Harley Quinn season 5 comes out January 16th.
That's part of the show.
I honestly don't know if I care about this show anymore. Like, it started out fun, and then once they got Harley and Ivy together, I dropped off pretty quickly. And it was mostly just because the show changed from Harley and her group of friends to pretty much just Harley and Ivy, and
Harley and Ivy, the love story.
They are the love story.
So it's not just a fun Harley show anymore.
No, and like Clayface pretty much is gone in the show. I mean, he's still there occasionally, but he's not there like he used to be. And he was one of the funnier characters because it was Alan Tudyk playing him, I think.
Yeah.
And then,
which I like Alan Tudyk.
Oh yeah, love Alan Tudyk. Who's the other one? King Shark again, just kind of left. Like he's in the show, but he's not in it as much as he was. And again, another great character. It pretty much went from Harley and Ivy with a group of characters, and they are all doing different stuff in the show, to just Harley and Ivy. And, it's not bad. Like it's not not a reason to watch, but it's just not as fun. Like because Harley is too Gen Z humor for me. Not into the. I mean, it's Deadpool meta humor.
Listen how grown up you sound right now.
It's Deadpool style meta humor for most of her jokes, and that gets old really fast. And then Ivy can't make up her mind on whether she's evil or good. So I just, and Harley goes through arcs of being a good person after leaving Joker, which is interesting, but just not enough for me to keep wanting to watch the show. It also just, it's another one of those shows that is really gory and really like covered in MA stuff that I like, after a while it feels like it's just there to be there.
I mean, I feel that way about Creature Commandos for the most part.
From what I've heard, Creature Commandos.
Just hold on.
Oh, okay.
The first 3 episodes are just gratuitous and garbage. And I think the next 2 episodes have actually almost saved the series for me. I at this point still want to see where it's going.
Yeah.
But not for the first 3 episodes. The first 3 episodes almost had me going, okay, I'm done with this.
Yeah. From everything I've heard so far with how the show ends is that, and I don't know how it ends yet, but I've heard just great things about the show now that it's
it has gotten better after 3 episodes. You almost can skip them. They're that bad.
Yeah. Imagine that for an entire series with Harley Quinn. It's funny, but then, after a while you're just like, okay, but it feels quite a bit the same. And I just don't care.
It just got not gross, but it just got old. It got tired very quickly.
Yeah, it's not gross. It's not gross for Harley Quinn. It just gets old. You're just like, okay, all right, it's more of the same stuff. Yeah. Like if you watch Deadpool as a TV show for long periods of time instead of 3 separate movies with nothing in between.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
and then June, and we probably won't go past June today, but June is Superman, right?
Well, we just skipped like a ton of other stuff.
April and May, and you didn't give me anything.
Oh, we went backwards. April. We were talking about March. I thought we were talking about where did we get in April? Okay.
I asked you if March, if there was anything besides Daredevil, and you said Daredevil was enough for March.
Yeah.
So April.
Oh, well, April is. Okay, let me go.
His ADHD kicked in.
I have a lot of stuff on my mind. Okay. It's really hard to keep track of everything when it's all happening at once. I know Ironheart is coming out at some point. Oh, we skipped May. You skipped Thunderbolts. What's wrong with you?
March, April. I am not to May if you have anything.
I think Ironheart comes out at some point this year.
Okay,
I just don't remember.
I will check Ironheart real quick. You tell me about
Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts
I'm excited for. I'm curious as to the point of the movie. I know Sentry's in it. I don't know why Sentry's in it. I'm not really sure what the point of this movie is yet.
Just for fun is all it looks to me. It looks like a fun movie.
Well,
I really don't care about Thunderbolts at all, except that it looks like a fun movie.
But the way Kevin Feige talks about it is like it's gonna have some importance. So I don't know.
I guess.
The only thing I know is that I'm excited to see Bucky again. Like he's a character that I've enjoyed since Captain America.
Bucky looking fun, not like Bucky in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I thought he was very serious in that. Not super fun, except when he picked on Sam. Like he would pick on Sam.
That was the best part of the whole show is Sam and Bucky's dynamic.
I know, but otherwise,
and my favorite part is when he's flirting with his sister.
That is fair.
Every scene on that boat is hilarious between the two of them.
That is fair.
Honestly, one of my favorite scenes. It is a serious scene, but it's a scene with Bucky. Finally breaking the Winter Soldier program on screen.
Yeah.
That was a great moment. That was very emotional, very fun to watch.
That's in May.
That is in May.
So then June is shaping up to be
July.
June is shaping up to be a great month because isn't June when Superman comes out?
Nope.
Oh,
July is Superman. We're not.
Well, then-
there's nothing in June.
yes. June is Ironheart. June 24th is Ironheart release date.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not sure about Ironheart yet.
I'm not either. I hope they go in the direction they took her with What If. I liked her character in What If. I don't think they're going to. I think they're going to lean on what they did with her in Black Panther 2. And I did not like her in Black Panther 2 at all.
I think they have a good setup with her in Black Panther 2. I think they need to pay it off by maturing her character.
They need to mature her character. Her character in What If is mature. She's in a great storyline. I know What If overall was not a great show, but her episode was a fantastic episode.
Well, she served as comic relief in Black Panther,
Which is
so
not what she should have been. Personal opinion.
I don't think there was everyone was playing it so straight in that movie. You needed something to laugh at.
I never liked her character in the movie. There wasn't one scene that I can look back on and go, okay, Riri was good in that scene.
I
Not
thought
one.
Her introduction was pretty funny. It was pretty funny. Like that was the whole point, though. She was more of a comic relief character in a movie where she was basically taking Ross's role and being the comic relief character.
Yeah. And she didn't pull it off as well as he did.
No, but I think she was what she needed to be in that movie. Because if you take her out, that movie's so dull. I love it for multiple different reasons, but with how serious every single character was being, if she wasn't there, I probably would have fell asleep in some scenes just because.
Well, we have difference of opinion on that. That's okay.
Because it's
But
slow.
I hope they do mature her up significantly for her show.
Yeah, I think she had a good start. I think they need to do better, but I think she had a fine start.
And the question becomes is Robert Downey Jr. coming back to voice
I hope
her
not.
AI? Because that's what it is in the comic book.
I hope not. I know it was, but I hope not. I'm gonna be honest with you. There was also an arc where he died effectively and uploaded his AI into a very old Iron Man suit and was just running around as a holographic head over a suit.
Iron Man 4 would be great for that.
I don't want to see it. I'm sorry. I think that because in the comic his death wasn't as bad, whereas the movie his death has a sense of permanence. So if you bring him back, it really wipes Endgame's thing. Whereas I think Civil War II is where they killed him. And that didn't hold as much weight just because Civil War II wasn't a very good comic.
Yeah, but here's the deal. We are far removed from Endgame now. We're multiple movies removed from Endgame, and most of them have not lived up to the previous series of movies. You almost need to wipe out that death so that you can fix things with how bad some of these movies have gone.
I think that would make it worse,
I
not better.
don't.
It's same thing with Captain. I think the only thing is that with Secret Wars, bringing RDJ back makes sense, and that's where I'm going to get that fix, where I feel like I need him back.
Except it's not going to be him what you're used to.
No, but that's okay. I don't want to see RDJ come back though. I'm like before that. I want it to be special when he comes back, and so if you ruin it by doing something stupid with his
You're
character. I'm not. If you do something stupid like bring him back as AI and he's just a joke character, he doesn't even
No, I'm not saying bring him back as AI. I just wonder if they're going to use his voice for that. If you're going to bring him back, you should bring him back as Iron Man, and you should bring him back and quit worrying about the Endgame legacy at this point. Endgame is long gone.
I think it should be secured until Secret Wars, and then you do a soft reboot where you bring him back, and that's how you do it. But
he'll be way too old by then.
Well, you don't bring RDJ back; you bring Iron Man back, and you do it differently.
I don't know who you would have play him at that point.
I don't know. It depends on if any actors come up and coming.
In the words of one of my favorite podcasters, Ty Hudson, who might actually listen to this podcast at some point, who you gonna get? Ty says that all the time on his show.
Yeah, that's a good question. Chris Evans is the same way, by the way. I don't think he should come back unless it is to adapt his Hydra arc.
I'm sure that's what he's coming back for.
I do think they're going to bring him back for that, but I don't think Steve should come back unless it is for his Hydra arc. There's just no other reason you would retcon a really great scene of him handing the shield to Sam. So I don't really want to see that until they find a good reason. And I think him being in a Hydra agent would be a good reason, but it would have to be again, I don't know if you do that after Secret Wars or during Secret Wars. So really just depends.
I don't know either. Okay, we'll go to July. We're going to stop at July because, by the time you get to July, you've got projects that can be moved around and pushed back and whatever. I feel pretty safe about the things coming through July.
What else was there? There was
Superman.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I know there's some things post July that should be coming out this year. Like most likely won't come out. Like will come out, won't be pushed back.
I don't know. We can still cover those later. We'll use them as another filler episode when we're in between a couple of big things like we are this time. And that being said, Superman, there was an interview with James Gunn this week, and he said, "Do not expect Guardians of the Galaxy." And I'm actually so happy about this because what he said is, "Look, I did not bring my humor to Superman, and I did not bring my soundtracks to Superman. You're going to get neither of those." He said Superman is a score-driven movie. Mm-hmm. There are a couple of songs in it, but he said the songs are appropriate for where they are in the movie, and they are not to drive the movie forward. He said Guardians, the songs were as much about driving the movie forward as the script was. He goes, "I'm abandoning that for Superman. You will not get that in Superman."
I didn't think he would do that. I don't know why people thought he would do that.
And then, and then he said, and as far as humor goes, listen, I don't remember her name, but the lady that plays Lois Lane, he said she's funny and she has some things that are humorous. But if you think that I'm making a comedy out of Superman the way I made a comedy out of Guardians of the Galaxy, you're 100% in the wrong. And that is not the tone I was going for. This is a very serious movie with some humorous elements.
Yeah,
I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest, I never expected this movie to be funny at all. I never expected, I definitely didn't expect the soundtrack thing at all because Guardians, the whole reason that's there is for Peter.
Of course.
It's the Zune, that's why those are there. It's because the Zune is a big part of 3. The cassette tapes are part of 1, 2, and Infinity War and Endgame. And actually Endgame, which is crazy, because Iron Man actually uses his Walkman on the ship in the beginning of Endgame. And then Rocket uses it later. Actually, no, it was the Zune in Infinity War and Endgame. Sorry, not because the cassette tape was destroyed in 2. But so yeah, those were narratively there for a reason. It wasn't just but they were tied to a character. Here, there's no character in this movie that would have something like that, and that's a good thing. So
I like I said, that makes me happier about Superman to know that it's not going to be Guardians. I've never been a big fan of any of the Guardians movies.
That's so crazy.
And you know that. They're not my favorite MCU movies. I don't hate Guardians 1. I like it, but I'm not its biggest fan. Guardians 2 to me was absolute trash.
It's crazy because they're the most consistent movies in the entirety of the MCU.
Except for Iron Man. We've already been over this.
Except
for Iron Man, we're already over the. No, we're not rehashing this. Iron Man is the gold standard of trilogies.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Guardians follows.
No, Star Wars is the gold standard of
That's
trilogies.
Not a Marvel, even though Star Wars is in some Marvel comics. And yes, that makes it comic adjacent. It is not.
But you know what I mean.
A Marvel trilogy. It is not the same thing.
Okay.
In the MCU,
Guardians is the most consistent.
Iron Man is the gold standard.
Not even
Guardians
close.
Might be second.
That's insane since they didn't even have a plan for the Iron Man movies, and Guardians had a plan the entire time.
And yet they worked it out perfectly.
That I don't think
we're not rehashing.
I don't think there's.
I don't think there's anyone who disagrees with me either. You're right.
No, I said agrees.
I don't think disagrees.
I meant agrees. There's nobody that agrees with you. There is no one on this planet that agrees with you.
Oh, I love it. I love it. That's hilarious.
Captain America's a better trilogy.
No.
Absolutely.
No. And okay, so you think there's some other properties we need to clear up that you don't think will move?
I'd have to look at the list again, but I can't seem to find it. Just pissing me off a little bit.
Well, that's okay. We can finish right here for tonight.
We're not done.
Oh, what am I missing?
Fantastic Four comes out a week after Superman.
Oh, yes.
Good
Fantastic
Lord.
Four.
So this is gonna be a weird one. I feel like this is gonna be it's not coming out on the same day though. I was originally banking on this one being a Barbenheimer situation and going to watch both movies back to back.
Yeah, they won't be out on the same day.
They are not out on the same day. We're gonna have to watch them a week apart.
And we will, because unlike any other DC movie that has been out in the last 20 years, I actually kind of care to see Superman on opening day.
I'm gonna start watching DC movies on opening night going forward.
So you might mostly be doing that by yourself, but you won't do that with Superman by yourself.
Well, considering the second movie is Batman, I know I'm not doing that by myself.
The second movie is going to be Supergirl.
Oh, is it Supergirl? Oh, yeah.
With Lobo.
Yeah, so I'm definitely not doing that by myself.
So excited about Lobo because Jason Momoa was born to play that. Unlike that garbage Aquaman.
Literally in every,
I
think he even had an interview recently where he's like, he had an interview during Aquaman where he's like, I went in thinking that I went in to play Batman. I think he auditioned for Batman. And then they were
Gross.
like,
that wouldn't work.
And then they were like, well, we'll give you a different role for, I think it was Dawn of Justice or something. And he was like, so I thought they were going to give me like Lobo or something from how they described the movie. And then I was Aquaman.
So bad. It was never a fit, but I am thrilled that he is playing Lobo. I can't wait to watch that.
Me too. Yeah, that's gonna be a great one. But as far as Superman and Fantastic Four, I'm gonna before we get into Fantastic Four, on the level of Superman and Fantastic Four, I'm gonna be playing the comparison seat since both of them are reboots of franchises that have not worked out for the most part.
Well, we are a weekly show, so we can do that.
Oh, that was bad.
We can watch them, review them separately, and do a compare and contrast of them.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we will definitely do that. That'll be 3 weeks of July.
Yeah. I'm excited to see both equally because I think I think Fantastic Four needs a good movie.
Oh, it's desperate for somebody to do it right.
Yeah. I'm still a little skeptical on Pedro Pascal for the most, like everyone else. Joseph Quinn.
It seems off brand for him to play that character.
Yeah.
I will agree with you.
I feel so. Here's the weird part. I feel like he is more of the cowboy character for some things, and then for other things, he's like the comedic Hispanic character. And I don't think he's played anything outside of those two roles very often.
Game of Thrones.
You could make the argument that he was a comedic Hispanic character in a...
No, he was
No?
a Don Juan.
Was he a Don Juan?
He was definitely a Don Juan.
I can't... What character?
And all he had for him...
Oh, he's the guy who
all
got
he
his
had for
eyes
him
pulled
was
out,
a
right?
revenge. He had a revenge arc for them killing his sister. But other than that, he was a Don Juan.
I forgot what character he was.
Yeah, he
did get
the
his
mountain pushed his eyes through the back of his skull.
Still crazy that they did that. I remember his character now. That sucked.
But that was different for him. But this is still not in line with that. This is a very different,
completely different character. Playing
good for him for not getting typecast. But I'm not sure I feel this casting. But we'll see.
I hope they don't write him. So because they're going into space, I'm afraid of them not making him a smart character and making him a kind of Captain America in space character.
I don't get that one.
Like, for instance, if he was like, what's wrong with me?
Go on.
What's his name? I'm trying to think. Neil Armstrong. They didn't make him a genius and made him more like Neil Armstrong going into space. I want him to be a super genius. I feel like I'm kind of scared they're gonna write him more like a generic guy just going into space a little bit, just your average American. And I don't want them to do that. I don't think Marvel would be stupid enough to do that, but
Yeah, I mean,
they picked a
guess
guy
we'll
who
see.
plays your average American
That's
most of the time.
that's fair.
Yeah, so so I'm hoping that's not what they do with him. I really hope, but
That's fair. That's fair. Okay, so July is was a real nice sip of your coffee right into the microphone, by the way.
I didn't mean to.
Cameron's working on his ASMR.
I've been
He'll
so
be
good about
releasing that later too.
it. Yes, it's gonna be so much fun.
You're so stupid.
but yeah, it'll be a super month. That was corny. It'll be a super fantastic month.
Okay, super fantastic. So you have a son on the way. Is that what this is? Dad jokes for you?
No.
Okay. Woo! Woo! You're too young for that, and so am I.
Too young for the dad jokes? Because I feel like I can make some pretty good dad jokes.
Okay, shut it down.
What? Okay. Ow.
All right. Anything else this year? I feel like there was one other thing you wanted to talk about. You just have something to get off your chest.
I have so many things to talk about. There's Five Nights at Freddy's too.
That's not it.
Comic adjacent, I feel like it works. It's video games. That also fits in line.
That's not what I'm talking about. You recently checked in on Sony Pictures CEO.
Oh my God.
Let's talk about that real quick.
All right. So
Let's
yeah,
go. Let's go.
I want to talk about why I'm excited there's no Sony movies on the slate.
That's right. That came up.
The CEO of Sony is delusional at best, or just no. I think he's just delusional, because he recently came out and stated that critics are the reason the Sony movies failed, and they were always good movies.
You know what's funny about this? I really do believe what I said earlier. I believe that Disney hires people to harpoon DC movies. And I believe that Warner Brothers hires people to harpoon Marvel movies. And that is what happened to The Eternals. It got trashed, bad reviews before it ever really came out. And it was a great movie. And I think that probably happens to some DC movies. Do you know where I don't think that happens?
Where?
Sony. I don't think that happens to Sony movies. Their movies are just that bad.
So, okay. So I do think we'll start with the Venom movies because people actually did go watch those. And
I went and watched Venom.
I think on its merit, it did well enough to have people watch those movies. But I still can't sit here and say they're good movies.
Venom was not a good movie. And that's why you couldn't talk me into going and seeing the other two.
We did watch Venom, Let There Be Carnage together in theaters.
I slept through it.
Anyway,
I don't even remember one scene from it.
The Venom movies aren't too bad, but it's mainly the humor, I think, that makes the movies work. It's kind of like if you interjected humor in the Star Wars sequel trilogy is what keeps those movies alive. I don't think that they're good movies as much as if you go into the movie and you're entertained for a little bit, you can be entertained and still realize it's a bad movie.
That's fair. We've had some movies where you were like, that was awful. And I was like, I found it entertaining.
Yeah.
Even if it wasn't a good movie.
I think the Venom movies get off on that merit where it's like, it's funny, but it's not a fantastic story. You're not going into it thinking it's going to be this masterpiece trilogy of Venom movies.
Yeah. It's not Iron Man.
You mean Guardians, but, Morbius didn't even have an ending. Like the movie didn't even have a proper ending, and you're telling me that was a good movie?
No, Morbius was awful.
His girlfriend dies, and then he just flies off. Like
you know why I even went to Morbius in the first place?
I actually don't. Oh, was it because they said that it was going to be connected to
Spider-Man,
Yeah.
to an actual Spider-Man,
and then they're going to retcon it.
Yeah,
They've already talked about retconning that scene at the very end.
it's all
Yeah.
gone.
Not that's so
I only wanted to see it for the sake of being able to say I saw everything tied to Spider-Man, and that was supposed to get tied to Spider-Man. Awful movie.
Yeah. Vultures.
Otherwise, I regret having spent the money on it.
So you went for Michael Keaton.
I actually only went because of the poster on the wall.
The poster on the wall. What was the poster?
There was a poster of "Have you seen Spider-Man" or something on the, and I was like, "Oh, that
no, he's a murderer," is what it said.
something like that." And I was like, "That means it's going to be tied to Spider-Man."
Well,
and there
so
was nothing
do you know
tying
what's-
him to Spider-Man except at the end with the vulture.
You
And
know
I
what's
was like,
funny?
"That's so disappointing."
I knew that wasn't going to be in the movie for a couple of different reasons. Number one, the image it said he's a murderer, right? Which references Mysterio.
Yeah,
But the image they used
was Garfield.
no, it was Tobey Maguire.
Oh,
And on top of that, it wasn't even a real piece of art that someone spray painted. What they did is they put the Spider-Man 2 suit on in the Spider-Man PS4 game and then took a picture and then photoshopped it to a wall.
gross. So anyway, that's the whole reason I went, and I was disappointed from start to finish with the movie. There were no good scenes in it at all. And then you tried to get me to watch Madam Web.
Madam Web wasn't
Good. Let's start there.
It's crazy. Okay, I won't say I think some people say it's really bad, but I don't think it was as bad as people. I think actually Craven was worse.
Okay, so hold
Plot-wise.
on. Madam Web was bad.
It was bad. I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying it's not as bad. I don't think it's as bad as like Craven or Morbius was, because at least it had a proper ending. It did set up a decent storyline. It did have some payoff. It just
I will say this. I wasn't excited about Madam Web from the trailer.
That's fair.
And I watched the Craven trailer and was like, oh my gosh, they're going to do a movie right for once. And then I watched the first 8 minutes and I was like, oh my gosh, they did a movie right for once. And then it all falls apart after the first 8 minutes.
Yeah.
It was awful. It was exactly what you said. Morbius is the worst. Craven is the second worst. But Madam Web is the third worst. And they didn't do a good movie. I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, I don't know.
You didn't need critics to lampoon your movies because they were awful.
Yeah, even if you, because I do think he was right about one specific thing. I think after Morbius got all the bad reviews, and then it went into theaters twice. When they re-released it over the "It's Morbin Time" meme, I think that's when they should have realized, oh, these movies are bad. Like they weren't good. Like Venom again got off on its humor. This one didn't get off on anything. People were making fun of your movie, and you got tricked into releasing it, which also cost you marketing dollars, which is insane. And then, with Madam Web, people just didn't care anymore.
No, he was right in that the lack of success poisoned future movies.
Yep. And that the critics were going to probably bash.
Well, but also anyone who bashed the movies wasn't wrong. So you can't say the critics did it.
No,
because the movies were bad. The critics didn't take a good movie and make it look bad and perform bad.
Yeah.
The movies were bad.
Well, even critics
earned
I know,
that.
but critics tend to be wrong in some situations. Like sometimes they'll still pan a movie like an MCU movie. They'll come in.
I mean, they did to Eternals.
Yeah.
And Eternals turns out to be a great movie that you don't follow up on.
Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness also got some bad press. But that's just been the superhero genre. There's been some movies that have come out and they'll just be like, it was mid. It was okay. Like it got a 7 or 6 for critic reviews. But then you go and watch and you're like, I actually really enjoyed that. That was good. I think it would have gotten that anyway. but people were already also hating on it. So you can't say it was just critics poisoning it if the entire audience is also watching the same movie and going, this is bad.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
you like, because otherwise you would have a critic score that's like here, and then you have an audience score that's here.
And nobody can see your hands.
And obviously, okay, fine. You have a critic score that's like 60%, and you have an audience score at like 90%.
Yeah.
Right.
That's not
But
happening
that's
with
not
Sony
happening.
movies.
These movies are down to like 40 or 20%, and then you have the audience score almost as low.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah. So,
It's fun. He already thinks we're a video podcast, so he's trying to show you with his hands.
well, I'm a very visual person, so it's really hard for me not to do hand motions.
Once again, though, we will be a video podcast by the end of the month. We're excited about it. We also want you to like, share, subscribe, follow, ring the bell. Whatever it is you have to do on whatever app you are watching us on, please do that. We're available on Spotify, Audible, Podbean, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and just about anywhere else you can find a podcast. So please go out, follow us, like us, subscribe to us, ring the bell so you get notifications.
Punch Thanos in the face.
Whatever it takes to hear our episodes.
Whatever it takes after Thanos.
I mean,
did you do that intentionally?
Yes. Yes, I did. All right. With that, I think we're going to jump out of here for tonight. We'll be back next week to talk about Northwest Arkansas Comic-Con, which we will be at Saturday
Do we
and
have to
possibly
pay
Sunday.
to get in? I don't remember.
It's all taken care of.
Oh, okay.
So we'll look forward to telling you about Northwest Arkansas Comic-Con next week. We'll see you then.